Welcome to Shawn and Carter Have a Podcast. My name is Shawn.
And I am Carter.
And Carter, it is hot as balls. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube? I just did.
You did. I mean, it's so hot.
It is record-setting hot here in the US of A.
It is so hot. I can't. I'm going insane. I can't. I mean, I walk to work, and it's not very far. It's like 10 blocks. But I feel like, I don't know what, it's like Lawrence of Arabia or something. It's just like, it's so hot. It's like an oven. I told Sean I'd tell him how hot it got yesterday here, what the high was. It was 106.
106?
It's so hot. I have the power company people are telling folks that you shouldn't have your air conditioning set to anything lower than 20 degrees below what the high is.
Wow.
Otherwise, it's just straining the air conditioning unit, and it causes them to break at a much greater rate, and it costs you a lot of money, and you don't really get much cooler in your house because it can only do so much.
Right.
So I have my air conditioning set to 75, and it goes all day.
Right, because it can't get there. It can't get there.
Can't even get there. So I feel fine in my house or my apartment, and then I have a hallway that I go out to, and it immediately feels really hot, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so hot. But then you go downstairs and you leave the building, and it like jumps another 20 degrees, and it's just like, it's so hot. Why is it so hot?
Yeah, I was shooting 5 Things on Thursday, and when I have my day off and I do 5 Things, I typically take care of, like, I do responses to comments and emails and stuff. That's my first part of the morning, and then I'll do like video game commentary and like other recording, and then I'll get into 5 Things maybe around noon. And last Thursday, I couldn't do anything. I just tried, and I just kept trying to do things, and I couldn't focus. I couldn't. And 5 Things, I filmed part of 5 Things around noon. Actually, the shots that I needed a cameraman for, that was done by my dad. So thanks, Dad. And he came over around noon. Then I shot some of it after he left, but then I was like, I just need to stop for a little while. I didn't shoot the rest of it until like after 4 o'clock. I was just so unmotivated because I couldn't concentrate.
The heat has turned you into a manic depressive.
I think that's it.
It's so hot.
So I finally did break down, and we have a window unit now.
Did you just recently get it?
We got it the day after I shot 5 Things.
Are you gonna have to turn that off when you film 5 Things in the future?
Maybe when I'm filming with the camera. When I'm doing, like, it's about 12 feet away from me right now, and I'm using my headset, and I've already tested this. You can't hear it. Actually, if you watch The Sims, you hear me test it at the end.
Well, good. Well, try and stay out of the heat. It's really hot.
It's really hot. So I had a very interesting and culturally rewarding experience last night, Carter.
Tell me about it.
Alicia works at a cafe that is directly across the street from one of 2 theaters that we have in the area that put on like what you would expect a local theater to put on, like every show, Chicago, Grease, like whatever. And they were doing Miss Saigon.
Oh, really?
And she got free tickets because they really like the cafe. All of the cast and crew will come over and eat there every day and stuff. And they know each other really well. And she got free pass for tickets. And she was like, do you want to see Miss Saigon? And I was like, sure. Why? Free, yes. Why not? And I walked into this production not knowing a damn thing about Miss Saigon. And by the intermission, I was like, what am I watching?
I don't know anything about Miss Saigon.
Well, first of all, Miss Saigon is an opera.
Like a classic opera?
It is based on Madame Butterfly, which is one of the top 10 most performed operas in the world. It's like 100 years old. It's in Italian. It is a tragedy. It is everything you'd expect from an opera. And Miss Saigon is, I mean, the title is even like a direct adaptation. Madame Butterfly is Miss Saigon. And it just happens to take place during the Vietnam War. And
is it in Italian?
it's not in Italian, it's in English, but there is not a single line of spoken dialogue in the entire show.
So it's sort of like Les Mis on steroids.
It's written by the same guys who wrote Les Mis.
Yeah.
They just...
That's the only thing I know about it.
Yeah, and by halftime, by the intermission, Alicia turns to me, and she's like, I didn't know the whole thing. And I was like, yeah, I didn't know either. Like, we were both right there. Yes, this is an opera we're watching. And it was pretty great. I gotta say, I don't know if I could be compelled to go see like an Italian opera and just be completely in the dark about what was happening, but it was very interesting, and I would definitely recommend the experience to anyone who has been doubting that they would ever enjoy an opera. That Miss Saigon is probably your in. First of all, there are half naked women on stage most of the show, and second of all, it's just basically like a bloody tragedy based around war, and the fact that everyone's singing, if you can get over that and just enjoy the fact that it's a war story, maybe you'd like it a little bit more than you'd think.
Do you wanna do after Chris Nolan? Do you wanna do operas?
You want to alienate all of our audience?
I kid. There was a movie, wasn't there?
There is one in production.
Oh, okay. So it's not.
There's a production of Miss Saigon and Les Mis both being made right now. I think Les Mis is further along in production. I think it's shooting or has already shot.
I would think that would have a much wider potential audience.
Probably.
Heard of, which is strange. Like, more people have heard of Les Mis and would probably want to see it, even though it deals with a much more esoteric topic to most Americans than Miss Saigon. Miss Saigon is about the Vietnam War,
right?
And Les Mis is about, France in the mid 19th century. So, okay. Interesting. Well,
yeah.
I probably won't see it, but if I have the opportunity now,
yeah, if you've ever got if you've got a girlfriend or a wife and she's got a free pass, don't turn it down, is all I'm saying.
Cool. So, we had one little bit of feedback about dreams that we wanted to mention. Usaya one. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. We mentioned, the sort of dream that you have in the morning where you dream that you like get up and do stuff. And I think I even said, like, do other people have this kind of dream? Where you like brush your teeth and take a shower and then you feel cheated. Apparently other people do have that kind of dream. So we had Usaya one chime in and say that he has that kind of dream. So
he had like a whole precognitive story spelled out, like he dreamt something and then it happened, or so he says.
Which I have not had happen to me. So
I can't tell the future yet. I'm working on evolving.
Oh, and one last piece of follow-up before we move into we have sort of a mini main topic this week about YouTube comments, but we wanted to mention that that someone is going through all of our older, or not our older, but someone's catching up on our podcast.
Yeah. Kim, the Munch Kim, tends to listen. She like binges on our podcast. She falls way behind, and then she listens to a bunch of them and tweets about it, and we get to tag along with her as she catches up.
I tweeted something randomly while I was working. I don't even remember what it was, and then she tweeted back at me, "I'm listening to you guys right now, and I always think it's weird when I see you tweet and I'm listening to you at the same time."
I'm actually kind of going through that right now because I am also behind on the podcasts that I listen to, and so I've been catching up on the Rooster Teeth podcast, and usually Jack or Bernie are the two guys on that podcast that I like want to have a conversation with them, and I'll be listening and I'll see them tweeting, and I'm listening to a podcast that took place 6 weeks ago, and I'm like, damn it, if I were only caught up, I could be responding to them in real time, like, because it only happened yesterday.
That's a phenomena. All right. So our mini main topic is something that Shawn wanted to talk about, and that's YouTube comments.
YouTube comments. I've been having a problem, and the problem is Ben Mr. Sapling.
Yes.
This poor guy, he's so good at getting the cookie on my video first. He's usually the first one on my videos. He writes cookie. And I still haven't been able to figure out if YouTube is flagging him for spam, or if evil, malevolent people with nothing better to do with their time are flagging him for spam. But for some reason, in the past week or two, every single cookie of his disappears because it gets marked as spam. And I don't understand why me, the person who posted the video, I don't have the power to tell YouTube that he is not spam.
There's a sort of a big problem with YouTube as a product, and it ties into the fact that it's ad-based, so to some degree they don't have to really carefully care about the user experience. I mean, if no one wanted to go on there ever, then that would be a problem. But it's this giant, really big video database with this other, like, all these other associated databases that like get comments on and get likes and all of this stuff, and it presents itself as if when you're on a video, you're interacting with that video and with that producer, but you're not. There is no real two-way communication. You're both kind of, it's kind of asynchronous. It's like, you know, they're posting a comment on something that you sort of own, and you kind of get an email about it, but you know that comment could like disappear into the ether, and it's not like, I mean, it's even worse than like a Facebook conversation in some ways, and then other people have control over that, you know, like with upvotes and downvotes,
which YouTube does give you the ability to disable.
Well, that's good. You can also just turn off comments entirely, which I think is great.
Yes, you can.
And I think more people should think about doing that for certain things. But yeah, I mean, if you know that this thing is not spam, because everybody has the option to, whenever something has that little italicized, we believe this thing is, I don't know what it says specifically, but like this
comment has received too many negative votes.
Oh no, yeah, you've got that one, and there's something else that's like, we think this is spam, and you can click it and it'll show you the comment, and then there's a big button that you can push that says not spam,
which is all I do on poor Mr. Sapling's comments. I go in, I click show, I click not spam, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, does that do anything? Is that like
it must do something if enough people do it?
Elevator button in America? Is it just like for show?
I feel like if enough people press spam on a comment, it will mark it as spam. And I feel like what it's supposed to do is if enough people mark it not as spam, it unmarks it as spam. But I don't understand. I want the comments to operate like a Reddit post or like a forum thread that sure. I, the author, has direct control over.
Sure.
And for the most part, I do that already. When I get a comment on a video that is just some completely arbitrary, like, you suck, or you're ugly, or like something that is just completely random and doesn't have anything to do with the video and is probably just hateful, I'll just delete it. Because it's not helping the conversation. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. And more often than not, I'll look at that person's profile and see that that's all they're doing on people's videos, and then I'll just block them. But if someone is doing something like saying cookie on a video just to help the, you know, it's a +1, like this comment or this video has received a comment, why don't I have full control over whether that comment is spam or not?
Yeah, and something else, YouTube has lots of quote unquote organic ways for stuff to make it to the top, like upvotes, and they have that uploader comments thing,
right? Where
the first couple things that you respond to, it's going to put it at the top.
It'll actually be the most recent ones.
The most recent. I mean, why isn't there a section for like uploader favorite comments or like featured comments? Like, and you could say, ooh, this is a really good comment.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything to say, and I don't want it to get lost, but I'd like to star it so that everyone sees it.
Yep.
Like, that doesn't exist.
But it should.
It should, right? There's just a huge... I think we've said this before explicitly. YouTube comments themselves are sort of like one of the ugly pits of awfulness on the internet. Like, if you look on certain like really big channels, the comments on the videos, they always descend into the worst.
Someone calls someone a Nazi, and then all of a sudden you're arguing about evolution and creationism for some reason. You're like, this is a video about cats. Why is this conversation going on right here?
Do you know the Penny Arcade equation about online comments?
No.
that I'm sending it to you on Skype right now. It is called John Gabriel's Greater Internet Wad Theory. So it is it is a blackboard, and the equation is normal person plus anonymity plus audience equals total wad.
Well, you know what? I mean, I do value the internet that we came from, where there was like the point of the internet was to be anonymous.
Yeah.
I like that still, but when it's not helpful to a conversation and it's my conversation because it's my video, I want full control over it.
Yes, exactly. YouTube should have some mechanisms in place so that you don't have to get that really bad experience. It's not that I don't like people on YouTube, although there are plenty of them that I don't like because they, fall under this theory. And it's not that I don't like that there's conversation on YouTube. It's just that YouTube offers a really bad experience for most people most of the time, which is why I've endorsed things like QuietTube.
Right. Like, remove the distractions.
Get rid of all of it. It's all stuff I don't want to see.
It's window dressing. You want the content.
Right. Or I follow people who have like very, very, very small channels that all the comments will be good.
And I've always emphasized in 5 Things that the way to talk to me is Twitter.
Yes.
It's not the YouTube comments. If you want to talk to me and have direct communication with me, it's Twitter, and I will respond to you, and I do.
Yes. I mean, like even on a Shawn and Carter YouTube post, sometimes sometimes most of the comments are always very good, but sometimes they're not, and I check it. But if someone tweets about SCHP, then I'm going to be much more likely to be responsive and engage with someone because they went out of their way to go to a whole different platform to talk to me directly, and they lose some of that anonymity and some of that audience, which makes them less likely to be, a jerk face.
Yeah, I've had a problem. People have gotten, I don't know if they've gotten their feelings hurt or whatever. I've had a problem sometimes keeping track of people on YouTube because we talked about earlier, I mentioned one of our commenters, his name, and you didn't even realize who it was because you hadn't put together the letters to I have that experience all the time on YouTube. Right. I can't remember who's who because names are so arbitrary and weird. But Twitter, I get a name, and a lot of times people have put their actual name on Twitter, so I get that too. And then I also get an avatar, and I get all these things to tie to this person, and I can be like, oh, that's that guy. Even if I can't be like, that's Chris or Steve or whatever, I can be like, oh yeah, it's that guy with that cat icon that I remember talking to earlier.
Right, yeah, avatars are really important, and that might be a whole separate conversation. Shawn and I both have avatars that are of our faces.
Right.
Like our pictures are our faces. I'm not gonna go make some big broad statement that everyone should have a picture of themselves, but I think at the very least content creators or people who are at least doing the thing that we're doing right here, you should probably put your face out there so that people know what you look like, and they don't think of you as this.
A lot of Minecrafters use their Minecraft face, and that works fine.
That works okay, but that's a little different because you can interact with them on a server, and that's what they look like.
Right.
Right, but if
it's like Tron.
Right, if my avatar were of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Because I like Obi-Wan Kenobi, you'd be like, oh yeah, that Carter Kelchik, yeah, he's got the Obi-Wan Kenobi avatar, but I don't really know what he looks like. I kind of want people to know what I look like, especially if you're doing this sort of thing. Like the Rooster Teeth guys, they want you to know what they look like, because that's what they look like. But I don't think that that's what everybody has to do. Since we're just talking about YouTube comments generally right now, why? I don't even know how this works on various. I don't even know how this works. Why, when you do at someone's YouTube name, it doesn't actually make an at reply to them on YouTube?
I don't know. It used to.
Right?
You used to be able to do that, and they updated the comment section in a way that that now it will stack comments so that it will actually link them together, which I don't think that at thing worked that way before. But now I can't reply to people unless I'm actually sitting at my damn computer. Because I can't reply to people on my phone. I can't reply to them on my Android device. I can't do anything until I'm sitting in front of my computer and I can click the damn button on the page.
Yeah, so I think that this is probably...
Ron has also complained about this because for a while he was using the until someone was like, Ron, that doesn't work anymore. And he was like, what? Why?
That's so stupid.
Why can't it at least reinterpret it and be like, oh, he's trying to do this and change it into that, like, stacked comment?
And even if it didn't do it right away, like, there's this great... did I send to you or has someone linked to you the video... the number file video explaining YouTube views about why it gets stuck at 300.
Oh no.
Oh, I'll send that to you. That's great. It's why do YouTube views get stuck at 300? And it has to do they start verifying views after 301 views, and that's they actually got someone from YouTube to talk about it and like why it's sometimes like 302 or 304. It has to do like with the distributed servers or whatever. I don't know how they got someone from YouTube on here. I've never seen anyone from YouTube outside of their PR people, and this looked like a real like data person from YouTube, like going through and explaining. And the video is actually it's produced really, really well. Explaining like how the views come in and like how they get verified and like why views are like a currency for YouTube, so YouTube is very protective of them. It's really cool. I'll make sure that I send Shawn that video. So.
That's cool, and I'm even just that brief explanation I'm kind of glad to hear because of how arbitrary YouTube often seems.
It was really arbitrary. So what they there's literal code in the implementation of YouTube, and whoever wrote it, they decided in a meeting, after 300 views, we should really start checking to make sure there's not like a bot or something,
right?
Like making
an auto
views.
hit,
right? So they just arbitrarily decided to make it 300, and instead of in the code why it's usually 301, the code is, or why it is 301. The way they wrote this very specific part of the code is instead of, it's actually a mistake. Instead of check the views, and the way it works is check the views, and if it's less than 300, increment the view count by whatever. But if this server from Europe says 20 new views, if you have like a video with 100 views, it checks, it's like, okay, it's less than 300, I'm gonna make it 120 now. Instead of writing less than 300, they wrote less than or equal to 300.
Oh.
So even when it's 300, it's like, yep, that's good. Once it's 300, then it's like, nope. 301, stop, no.
So it's an off by one error.
It's an off by one error, and then it can be, a couple more than 300 because it will the central YouTube servers that deal with this are all linked to many, many servers across the world, and it will accept stuff even if it's past. Each server does that check basically, and then
they might all come in at the same time.
Basically, yeah. So it's never going to be a lot more than 300, but it could be. So.
Okay.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, I'll get that video and send it to you. It was really cool.
Now, if only they could get on there and explain all of my complaints about the comment section.
It's so frustrating. They just need to make it better, and I don't know how.
Obviously, neither of us do, or we'd be helping with it instead of just complaining. But that's what we do.
They gave us a topic, so thank you, YouTube, for having a crappy comment system so we could talk about it for a little bit.
You've created content.
Yeah.